السلام عليكم وأهلا وسهلا بكم في درس جديد. Peace and hello and welcome to another lesson, this time in Arabic grammar. We're going to be discussing what constitutes a noun, a verb and a particle, and telling apart a nominal and a verbal sentence and why is it important to know the difference between both. Let's dive in. Any word in Arabic, kalima is a word. Any word in Arabic could either be one of three. اسم, فعل, أو حرف. So a noun, a verb, or a particle. However, pay attention. When we mention a noun in Arabic, it includes additional stuff, unlike in English. So a noun could be the name of something or someone or a place. For example, in English, so رجل is a man, نمر a tiger, كتاب a book, يوم a day. And when we say, for example, Ibrahim, the name of a person, Dubai, the name of a place, also pronouns such as أنا, هو, هي, أنت, and so on. In Arabic, adjectives as well constitute what we call a noun, or ism, such as jamil, beautiful, kabir, صغير. So also adjectives are nouns, also active and passive participles. So for example, jalasa, verb to sit, jalasa, active participle, jalis. So someone who is sitting. ذهب, ذاهب. So أنا ذاهب إلى المسجد. I am going to the mosque in the masculine. ذاهب is actually not a verb. In English, you would say I am going, but in Arabic, it's literally a noun. I'm goer. So I'm someone who is going to the masjid. So it's different in Arabic. We also have adjectives, as I mentioned. We have demonstratives like this, that, and so on. هذا, هذه, they also fall under this category. And الذي, التي, so relative pronouns, which means this, which is, or that, or he, who, الذي, التي, which or who, and also adverbials of time and place fall under a noun in Arabic. So for example, when I say الكتاب تحت الطاولة, the book is under the table. تحت is a name or a noun in Arabic, اسم. So it's the name of a place. فوق, on top of or above. أمام, in front of. يوم, on the day that. For example, صليت يوم جمعة. I prayed on the day of Friday. So يوم in this case is an adverbial of time. The name literally of a name of time, telling us about the timing of something. مع, with, that's an adverbial also. مع, خرجت مع زوجي. I went out with my husband. So in this case, it's an adverbial and it's اسم in Arabic, it's a noun. عند, at. عندي سيارة. In English, we would say I have a car, but in Arabic, we use the adverbial at. Literally, at mine is a car. So it's important to know what falls under the category of a noun. So one more time, it could be the name of something, a person, or a place. It could be a pronoun like أنا, أنت, هو. It could be demonstrative like هذا, هذه. It could be a relative pronoun like الذي, التي, and it could also include adverbials of time and place, which is different in English, and as well it could include adjectives, active and passive participles. So it includes a lot of things. فعل, that should be straightforward and easy. A verb, generally speaking in Arabic, we have the past, present, and future. For example, أكل, in the past tense, he ate. يأكل, that means هو يأكل. That means he eats or is eating, because we don't have a continuous tense in Arabic. We use one form to refer to either. كل, eat, that's in the imperative. And some scholars argue that there's actually only two tenses, which are the past and the present, because you derive the imperative from the present tense in Arabic. So, but generally speaking, to make it easy, is the past, present, and imperative. The future tense is formed by adding سوف أو س prefix. So I can say سوف يأكل, he will eat. سيأكل, سيأكل, you will eat. So حرف, الحرف is particle, such as prepositions, articles, prefixes, conjunctions, and others. For example, when we use wa or أو, which means or, la, which means no or don't, doesn't, min, thumma, we spoke about سوف and sa just now. And it includes حروف الجر, من, في, إلى, على, بي, عن, ك, و, لا. So pay attention, because in English prepositions are different, but in Arabic we have حروف الجر and we have adverbials. So تحت is not the same as this category over here. So what could tell us something is a noun, is a verb, or a particle? Really easy. Al, the definite article, just as in English you say the book, al-kitab. And just as in English you would say a book in the indefinite case, a book, or an apple when you have a vowel. In Arabic we don't have an indefinite article, so we use tanween, which is the double dhamma, double fatha, double kasra, depending on the grammatical case. So I can say kitaban, kitabun, or kitabin, depending on the grammatical case of the noun. And it could come after a particle. A noun can come after a particle. For example, al-kitabu ala tawilati. So, al-kitabu ala tawilati. So notice at-tawila came after ala, which is a particle of jar. We can also say qara'tu fil kitab, qara'tu fil kitabi. So kitab over here came after fi. Also a noun can come after the vocative particle ya. For example, ya Allah, ya Muhammad, and so on. Although I can't say al to a proper name, like I can't say al-Muhammad, that would be wrong, but we can add tanween to certain names, like for example, Muhammadun yusalli, or ra'aytu Muhammadan, sallamtu ala Muhammadin. So depending on the grammatical case, some names will take tanween and the vocative particle. And we mentioned they could come after a jar particle. And another sign is the round ta, which is a strong sign of femininity in Arabic. For example, when we say muallima, muallima, the ta over here is a sign that it's a noun, tufaha, an apple. So, and other examples that indicates that that's a noun in Arabic. Al-fa'il, the verb. Signs of the verb, qad, the particle qad, which comes before the verb, and that's going to be in a separate video. I'm not going to go into detail now. But for example, qad akulu with the present tense, that means I might eat. Qad akaltu, I did indeed eat. So when we have qad before a word, it's a verb. And we mentioned earlier sa and sawfa, which indicate the future. Sa'akulu or sawfa akulu. So we know that this word is a verb. Also at-ta'nith as-sakina, which comes with hiya, conjugation of hiya. Hiya akalat. So that's a sign that that's a verb. We have the silent ta at the end. Ta al-fa'il, which is the pronoun suffix. For example, أكلت, that means أنا أكلت. أنت أكلت. أنتِ أكلتِ, and so on. So the ta at the end is actually a pronoun. That means that's a verb. يا المخاطبة, such as كلي, when we're addressing the feminine in the imperative. كلي, اشربي, drink. So the ya at the end. نون التوكيد, we're not going to go into it at this stage. And what constitutes a particle in Arabic, al-harf, is basically whatever is not a name or a verb, and whatever doesn't have a meaning on its own. So if I just say fi, that doesn't make any sense if it's not within a sentence. Okay, an exercise. اقرأ الجمل التالية وصنف الأسماء والأفعال والحروف. Read the following sentences and categorize the names or the nouns, verbs, and particles. So you can pause the screen and then we're going to go to the answers together. So pause the screen, do this exercise on your own, word for word, try your best, and then come back and check the answers. So I've put the nouns here in blue, the verbs in red, and the particles in yellow. أحمد يركض في الشارع. Ahmad is running in the street. Ahmad is a proper name. يركض, that's a verb, he's running. في is a jar particle. الشارع, we know from the alif lam, it's a noun. يسبح الأطفال في البحر. They are swimming, the children, in the sea. يسبح, over here, that's verb. الأطفال, we know from the alif lam, that's a noun. في, particle of jar. البحر, again, another noun, we know from the alif lam. Now with these verbs, it might not be obvious to a non-native speaker, but obviously when you're at an intermediate level, you're able to tell what's a verb or not to a certain extent by the prefixes and suffixes and from the context of the sentence. الذئب أكل الدجاج. So alif lam over here, verb over here. Alif lam over here, that's a noun. الكلب, a noun. نائم في الحديقة. He's sleeping in the garden. Pay attention over here, that's a noun. Why? It's not a verb. Because نائم is an active participle. It's not ينام. It's نائم. That's a noun, an active participle. سعيد ركب الدراجة. He rode the bicycle. سعيد, proper name. And we have the تنوين. ركب, a verb. الدراجة, ألف لام. كتبت بالقلم الأسود. كتبت. So you can see over here, this part is the verb. We have the pronoun over here, so I've put it in blue. كتبت, I wrote. So the I is actually the ta over here. And this part is the verb. So verb and attached pronoun suffix. Subject pronoun suffix. بالقلم الأسود, with the black pen. B is a particle of jar. القلم, we know from the alif lam, and it came after a particle of jar, so that's a noun. الأسود, we know from the alif lam, and obviously it's a color adjective, so adjectives also fall under nouns or names. هذا الدفتر له. This copybook or notebook is for him. That's the literal translation. هذا, demonstrative, so that's اسم, a noun. الدفتر, so we have the alif lam, that's a noun. اسم, له, for him. So over here, that's a particle of jar, so that's harf. And the hu, him, for him. So over here, that's an object, pronoun, so that's ism as well. So this is how we're dissecting the sentence in Arabic. يزرع المزارع البطاطا. The farmer is planting potatoes. So يزرع a verb, obviously المزارع a noun, البطاطا a noun. We can tell from the definite article. دخل المعلم إلى الصف. The teacher entered literally to the classroom. So straightforward over here. You can tell that this is a jar particle. أنا سعيد بهذا. I'm pleased with that, with this, literally. So أنا proper pronoun. سعيد, I'm happy. And you can tell that from the tanween, it's an adjective, and from the tanween, it's a ism, noun. B, it's a حرف. هذا, it's a demonstrative, so it's ism. الكرة تحت الطاولة. The ball is under the table. They're all asma, nouns. Why? Because alif lam, so the definite article, and تحت is an adverbial of place, which means under. هذه الفساتين لها. These dresses are for her. So هذه, demonstratives, go under nouns. Dresses, we can tell from the alif lam, الفساتين لها, for her. The lam is حرف, is the preposition of jar, and the ha is for her. So her dresses is for her. So this is actually a suffix pronoun. اشتريت. So اشتريت, this part is the verb over here. I bought. And this is the I, the to, the pronoun, suffix, subject, pronoun, attached subject pronoun. كتابا, tanween. wa, that's a conjunction, حرف. ومسطرة, and a ruler. We can tell from the tanween, and it came also after حرف. خرجت إلى السينما. I went out to the cinema. So the first part is the verb. Second part over here is the subject pronoun, the attached subject pronoun. إلى الحرف, حرف الجر. So the particle السينما is the noun ألف لام. سأقضي العطلة في فرنسا. So the sa is the particle indicating the future, the prefix indicating the future. أقضي is the verb, I will spend. العطلة, the vacation. ألف لام, we can tell this is a noun. في فرنسا, in. So this is a particle of jar, that's حرف. فرنسا, proper name, name of a place, that's ism. A challenge for you. So when we say بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم, categorize اسم فعل حرف. So B, that's going to be on its own. اسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. I'm going to give you a few seconds to think about it. Pause the video if I'm going too quick. Let's look at the answers. So the B is a particle of jar. Ism over here, Allah, Ar-Rahman, Ar-Rahim. So we don't have any verb. We have the B, which is a particle of jar. So in the name of God, Bismillah. Okay, Allah over here, Ar-Rahman, Ar-Rahim. The most compassionate, the most merciful. So adjectives, Allah, the name of God, and Ar-Rahman, Ar-Rahim, adjectives, and we have the alif lam as well. And ism, it came after the particle of jar, the B. Okay, a even harder one. أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم. أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم. So I seek refuge in Allah from Satan the outcast. So let's categorize اسم, فعل, وحرف. Pay attention to the particles and what constitutes a verb and the signs of a name or noun. Okay, so if we do it together, أعوذ, that's a verb. B, that's a particle of jar, حرف. أعوذ بالله, Allah, so is obviously the name of God. Min, حرف جر الشيطاني. So we know from the alif lam, and it came after حرف الجر, and we can see the kasra is a sign that it's اسم مجرور. So we're gonna put this over here. الرجيم, we have the alif lam as well. We're gonna put it over here, so it's ism as well. أعوذ means أنا أعوذ, so I seek refuge. أنا أعوذ, so that's a verb. Types of sentences in Arabic. So we have what we call a useful sentence or a meaningful sentence, جملة مفيدة, normally made up of 2+ words. Sometimes one word in Arabic has everything that you need, but generally speaking, شبه جملة, that means a prepositional phrase, just as in English when you say at the door, عند الباب, so on. So when it comes to a meaningful sentence, like a full sentence, we have two types, a nominal sentence and a verbal sentence. So nominal sentence, جملة اسمية, verbal sentence, جملة فعلية. What do we mean by that? And why do you even need to know that? Okay, so I will come back to this, but first, let me show you. So Arabic is what we call a VSO language. So some languages have this type of word order or structure where sentences can start with a verb followed by the subject or the thing or person that did the verb, and followed by the object which received the verb. So unlike in English, in Arabic you can say كتب الولد الدرس. كتب الولد الدرس. He wrote, the boy, the lesson. So that doesn't happen in English because English is a subject, verb, object language. But Arabic, Spanish, Tagalog, Hawaiian, some Celtic languages like Irish, Scottish, Welsh, and Gaelic, they have that type of order. So in Arabic, you can have a VSO or you can have a SVO sentence. So you can say كتب الولد الدرس, or you can say الولد كتب الدرس. So it goes both ways. So that's why it's important that we are aware of that, because we have two ways of basically saying a sentence in Arabic. So let's look at the examples. So جملة, شبه جملة, prepositional phrase. It doesn't have a meaning on its own. It's not a complete sentence. For example, في البيت, in the house. جملة مفيدة, a complete meaningful sentence. اسمي أحمد, my name is Ahmad. One word, قف, stop. That means you stop. أنت قف. So literally there's a hidden pronoun. So it's one word, but it has meaning, stop. So it's one word, but it's actually one sentence. And as we mentioned, a meaningful sentence can either be verbal or nominal. So it could start with a verb, كتب الولد, كتب الولد الدرس. It could be 2 words, 3 words. It could be a nominal sentence starting with a noun أو اسم. الولد كتب, الولد كتب الدرس. Okay, challenge for you. And again, take your time, pause the screen, and then we're going to check the answers together. So let me know what kind of sentence is this one and this one. So from the Holy Book of the Quran, قُلْ هُوَ اللَّهُ أَحَدٌ. قُلْ هُوَ اللَّهُ أَحَدٌ. And the next sentence, Allahu Samad. Allahu Samad. What kind of sentences are these? And why? Think why. Okay, obviously, قُلْ هُوَ اللَّهُ أَحَدٌ, a verbal sentence, جملة فعلية, because it started with a verb in the imperative. Say, قُل, say. جملة اسمية started with the glorious name of Allah, Allahu Samad. So it started with a noun. So that's a nominal sentence. أحسنتم, well done. Okay, so a challenge for you now اقرأ الجمل التالية وميز الجمل الفعلية والاسمية. So read the following sentences and distinguish which ones are verbal and which ones are nominal. So the same sentences that we worked on earlier, and we were trying to literally dissect them. Now that you have an idea where's the verb, where's the noun, what are the signs that can tell me, you can let me know now which one is a verbal sentence, i.e. it starts with a verb, and which one is a nominal sentence, i.e. it starts with a noun. Pause the screen, take your time, and let me know your answers. The answers, so the verbal sentences are in red, the nominal sentences are in blue. أحمد يركض في الشارع. Nominal sentence, جملة اسمية. لماذا? Why? Because it starts with a noun, a proper name or proper noun, أحمد. يسبح الأطفال في البحر. Verbal sentence, جملة فعلية. بدأت بفعل, started with a verb, يسبح. الذئب أكل الدجاج. Nominal sentence. Can you tell me why? It started with a name, اسم. الكلب نائم في الحديقة. Nominal sentence, started with a noun. سعيد, proper name. So nominal sentence over here, it started with a proper name. سعيد ركب الدراجة. كتبت بالقلم الأسود. Verbal sentence, it started with a verb. هذا الدفتر له. So it started with a demonstrative, which is a name or اسم في اللغة العربية. So it's a nominal sentence. يزرع المزارع البطاطا. Verbal sentence, started with a verb. دخل, over here, the sentence started with a verb. دخل المعلم إلى الصف. أنا, proper, so أنا pronoun. Pronoun ضمير, so it started with a pronoun, it's a nominal sentence. أنا سعيد بهذا. الكرة تحت الطاولة, the ball, started with الكرة, so it's a nominal sentence. هذه, demonstrative, so it's a noun, so the sentence started with a noun. هذه الفساتين لها. اشتريت, خرجت, سأقضي, so all verbal sentences over here started with verbs. أحسنتم, well done. النهاية, هذا كان كل شيء. This was everything. وشكرا للمشاهدة وحسن المتابعة. وفي أمان الله وحفظه ورعايته. إلى اللقاء.